Hey everyone, it's Patty from pspapercrafts. Thank you so much for joining me another Friday, and we're going to do a fun fold. And this one, I think I've made it recently. I kind of get lost in all the fun folds I've been making, but I think I made something similar. This is called a pop-out swing card. So when you open it up, it kind of has this kind of Z-fold in it, and it fits right in here. And isn't this little critter cute? I'm going to make this, or I made this for my grandson's birthday. He loves animals. If you see him, he has some kind of animal in his hand at all times. Mainly giraffes, but he loves them all. So I used this cute set. It's called Peekaboo Forest. And it has dies that go with it. But for this card, I didn't need the dies, just the shape dies. But it has this tree, and it has this cute little raccoon. And I don't know if that's a porcupine or a hedgehog, and then a little bear and a woodpecker. And they can fit all in here. And online, you can see this. You can make the tree go all the way up and have 3 of these in a row. And it's really cute with the woodpecker on the side. I'll have to make that maybe with a slimline card to make it all the way up. But anyway, I also used the Nests of Winter paper to get this kind of birch thing. I was going to emboss it, and I decided to use this paper instead. We are going to emboss the card we're making today. And then the sentiment, this is one of my new favorites for sentiments. I love this happy birthday. It's called The Right Words. I am using the stamp set in my May card class, and I'll talk about that in a second. But this has some really good sentiments. And then the dies I used are from the nested, what are they called? Nested Essential dies. And I use kind of this rectangle with the rounded corners. You can use any shape. You can use, you don't want anything too intricate, but you just want something that nests. You could do a circle, you could do a square, an arch, whatever you want, just as long as you can nest it. Now, you could just have the one outside die because you are going to die cut this. So it would be hard to cut. But like if you had a square die, then you can cut the inside if you wanted to, whatever size you want. You don't need a nesting that way. I hope that makes sense. So let me just do a little plug on my upcoming card classes. So May, I'm doing my regular monthly card kit to go. And you make 4 cards, or 2 of each. You make 8 cards, 2 of each of this. So this is one, then this is one, this is one. Okay, and then there's this one. The paper I'm using is gorgeous. You have to sign up. I'll have a link below. This is called my May card class to go, and you have to register by May 12th. Okay, then I'm doing a retreat. I'm doing this probably every quarter or so with my friend Ann Varillo. She's with Stamp with Ann, and this is a retreat. This is for June 7th, and you have to register for this by May 16th. And again, I'll have a link below this video. So we're going to make, you'll make 12 cards, and you'll have 2 of each. So it's 6 designs, 2 of each, you make 12. So I designed 3 of them. This is one. This is one. I don't have the inside done, but it's kind of got this layer. And then this is kind of a fun fold. And then Anne designed 3 cards as well. We have a snippet on the registration, so you can see that. So that's my little plug. Again, you can get all the information for that in the links below. I'll have it very clear below the description. Also, the link, there'll be a link for a project sheet for today's fun fold card. So you can have the measurements. You don't have to worry about writing it all down. And this is an easy one. This is from my May calendar pop-out swing card. And then next week we'll make a fan fold card. So if you want my inspiration calendar, you can subscribe to my email list, and you'll get this each month. And then each week I kind of do a roundup and tell you about show you the different cards that I've made, and I tell you about upcoming things from Stampin' Up. So let's get started. Today, we're going to use one of my favorites, Spotlight on Nature. We're going to stamp this, and I think I'll use that on the inside. And I did cut using these dies, so we will do a little bit more cutting, but let me get the paper out. So I'm using Blackberry Bliss and Fresh Freesia. I think they're a good combination. And I did die cut the circles. This set of dies has quite a few circle dies, so there's 2 pages of them. So I use this one and then this one, but you can use whatever size you want. It's pretty big, so I'm hoping it works out okay. It kind of takes up the whole card. So we are going to use that, and then we're going to stamp this beautiful flower. So we have a Fresh Freesia card base, and this is our standard card base. It's 5.5 by 8.5. Score it at 4 1/4. So we'll put that aside. And then I have a layer that's 4.5 or 4 1/4 by 5.5. That's going to sit right on this. I was going to go down a little bit, but look at how big this is. If I went down a little bit, it would be too big. So it kind of takes up a lot of the card. So let's, we're going to emboss this. This is a brand new embossing folder. It's Damask Designs embossing folder, and it is a 3D. So let me get my machine out. So with the 3D embossing folders, you need to have this specialty plate. It's a number 4, okay? And you can tell that it's kind of strong. It says it's not a 3D. Okay, never mind. It's not. When I was doing this, I was like, it's not so strong. So you don't use this. Let me show you how to do an embossing folder that is not 3D. Okay, I'll give you the sandwich for that. So we want to do it this way. I think we want to do it this way. So I'm going to put this, line it up, and let me get my plates. I'll show you. So if you have a 3D, you use the base 1 and you use the 4, and you put that in between. If you don't, if it's not a 3D, you're going to use you're not going to use the 2. You're going to use a 1 and 2 cutting plates. Okay? This is my first time using this, so we'll see. So you have the 1 and the 3, and you're going to put that down, and then you're going to put your top cutting plate, another 3 on it. And I like to put the folded part down here. It opens here. I like to put that going through first. I've heard that's what you're supposed to do. I'm not sure if it makes a difference, to be honest, but I follow the rules. I'm a rule follower. So we're going to go right through. Hope I'm in here. And sorry for the shaking. I try to do it slow so it doesn't make that big pop. Oh, well, I guess I didn't go slow enough. All right, so let's put this aside. And we'll open this up. Isn't that gorgeous? So this is the embossed, and then the other side is the debossed. And on this one, I would definitely go with the embossed. So we're going to lay this down and adhere it. I'm going to use glue. I like to use liquid glue when I'm adhering an embossed layer, because I feel like there's all these, I call them nooks and crannies, and you want to get the glue in there. Sometimes if you use another kind of adhesive, it doesn't get it all in those little places. So this will go right on top like this. Okay, and let's put this on so it doesn't dry out. And then we're going to get our machine out again, because what we want to do is cut. We'll see how this goes. So this is what I cut this from. Okay. And you want to center it. I am going to put a little thanks down here. So we're going to put this down like this. Okay, and let's put this stuff aside. Get my machine out again. I just dropped something. Okay. And this time I do want to have my number 2 plate. So I'm going to have my base, number 1, the number 2, my cutting plate, number 3. Okay, and then I'm going to put this through, And I am going to go back and forth because it's 2 layers of cardstock. And hopefully the embossing doesn't flatten out too much. We'll see how that works. We'll see. You never know. So I went through, and now I'm going to go back. I could feel that it went through all the way. And yes, I did lose my embossing. We'll put that aside. See this? So I think I got a little glue here. I'll have to get that off. I think I might emboss it again. I don't know. What do you think? Let's see. Did I do it this way? So I want to have it right on the edge. Let's see how that works. I'm going to take out that number 2 again. And that means it's going to be embossed on the inside as well, but I think that's okay. And then I'll get rid of that glue. So I have this where it folds, right? Not before I lined it up with the line, but I want this, I only want the top of the card base to be embossed. Okay. I feel like I have this backwards here. It's a little tough, and I think it's because it's 2 layers. I'm not going to go all the way through. Well, maybe I will. All right, sorry for the loud banging here. Let's see if this worked. See, so now it's embossed on the inside, but I'm okay with that. All right, it worked. So note to self, if you're going to emboss and then cut, let's cut first. So then what we're going to do, where's all my layers? This is going to fit in here, and this is going to fit on top. And let's do our stamping, and then we'll come back to this Z-fold part. It's very simple to make, and that's what that white piece is all about. So let me get my my stamp. I have it already mounted. Okay, this is that beautiful flower. I love this flower. And I'm going to ink it up in black memento. And I wanted to kind of take up a good portion of this. I'm not going to stamp a butterfly, but I am going to add one of our brushed brass butterflies. So I'm going to color it with stamping blends. I have light and dark, granny apple green and fresh freesia. And I think I might just do the light fresh freesia. I don't know if I'll add some dark to it or not. So I'm just going to color these flowers. So pretty. And I love the dark in it, that the black is has a lot of lines. Now, if you were a coloring person who liked to add the shading and all of that, you could use those lines as guides and make the darker, use the darker color in the lines. But I just color. I don't go with that. I just do the easy thing. I love what people do, with the shading and how the light falls on it, but I just do basic coloring and let the lines do the work themselves. But these are so pretty, and this is such a nice time of the year for this stamp. I don't think they're tulips. They're a little wide, but they remind me of tulips, the way they open. Okay. And you can do layers if you want to make it darker. That's the nice thing about the stamping blends, is they're alcohol markers, and you can just keep adding layers to the color, which is pretty. And then I think I'll do the light Granny Apple Green on these. I love Granny Apple Green too. It's such a pretty color. All right. And we'll just do, and this is almost like you just kind of touch it. You don't even have to color it too much. Just like this. And the last one. Okay, perfect. And now let's stamp our sentiment. And I was going to stamp that, I think I'll stamp that in Blackberry Bliss to pull this together. Or you could do black. And I'll just do this thanks. And I die cut this. This is with my, where do I have it? My Stylish Shapes. So this one here. But you can just stamp it on a strip and, you know, banner it if you want. I just always have that one out. I use it all the time. It's kind of a go-to. So that's that. And now let's put this aside and make our Z-fold for the inside kind of mechanism. So this is 6 by 5. So we'll have the 6 side on the top. So this is 6 inches by 5. And then we're going to score it into 3 sections. So we're going to score at 2 and 4. And that will just create this nice Z-fold. So these are 3 equal pieces. And let's put that away, get our bone folder out. And this is one that I'm going to score, you know, both ways. So it folds nicely. So we'll score it this way. And then we're going to score it backwards. And I actually am using, on the other card I used the thick basic white, but I don't think it matters. This is just regular basic white. So now we're going to have it like this. So it's a Z. This side is going to go inside of the card, and this side is what this is going to attach to. Okay? Before you put this in, if you want to stamp, I would stamp it first. So like I stamped this little critter there. I think I'll just do some leaves right like this. And we'll do that in the black memento, and then we'll color it with the Granny Apple Green again. I think the flowers are too big for it. And just to give it a nice little extra look here. And then you could write your note up here. And we'll take our light Granny Apple Green. You could just leave it like that. I think sometimes just a black image is pretty too. Kind of classy. Okay, and if you wanted to put a layer in here, you can. I'm leaving it. I don't usually do this, but for this card I am. So we are going to adhere these two together. Let's do that first. I'll get my Snail Plus. I'm going to put a lot down. You can, I guess this doesn't matter, but when you attach it to the card, you want something strong. You could use tear tape or the liquid glue or the Seal Plus. Isn't that gorgeous? And then this, we're going to put adhesive on this, and this should be a strong adhesive, which Seal Plus is. Okay, and then you're going to adhere this down. Got a little corner up there. You're going to put it down like it would be your inside layer. So you're going to have it even top to bottom, and you know, a nice little border on the side. Okay, and then fold that up, and then you're going to close your card, and you're going to adhere this in here however you want it. You can have it upright, you can have it to the right. So we're going to put adhesive only on this half, right? So you're not going to put it here, otherwise it will stick to the card. So this outer half, I'm going to put a good amount on. Okay, and then you're just going to have this closed and lay this right in here in the position that you want it. Okay, and then when you open it, ta-da! So pretty, right? So let's put our thanks down here. Let me make sure this isn't going to be too big. You could put it right over here. So let's put this down with dimensionals. I was going to put it in the middle, but I'm going to put it on the side. And then let's get some of those butterflies out. I love these butterflies. I was glad that they carried over the brushed brass butterflies. Let me get them. So these come in two sizes. There's a large and the small ones. So let me get this out, and I think I'll put a small one by the thanks, like that, and then maybe a large one up here, and a small one here. What do you think? Okay, so I think we're done with this card, and I think this is very elegant looking with this embossing folder. And then when you open it up, so pretty. And then this one, happy birthday, and you open it up, very cute, right? So these are the cards for today, and next week again we will be doing a fan fold card. I have to learn how to do that. I haven't made one of those. I've made these before, but I think they're cute and fun, and look at the difference between them, right? This is a cute kid card, and this is kind of an elegant feminine card. All right, thanks so much for joining me, and have a great week, and I will see you next Friday. Bye.